Today I am talking about cruising again. I know this month I feel like it's just been themed of cruising, which I'm here for. I hope you guys are. But today I'm talking about some of the hidden gems on cruise ships. So again, I know I've said this in other videos, but we only sail Royal Caribbean, so this is going to be my expertise area. This is what I'm going to be talking about. And so I just wanted to share with you guys like all the different things that we have found that make our cruises just that much more magical and relaxing. So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first I have to talk about is the solarium. So all Royal Caribbean ships have this. It is the adults only area, and it's not strictly enforced, but it is like pretty nice. Now if it's on a sea day, is going to be a little wild. But if you have like a port where you don't really want to get off at or something like that, it's going to be chill. It's going to be the place to go. It's nice and quiet. It's actually one of our favorite places to go when we first get on the ship during that day. We'll grab like a cocktail or a drink or a snack and we'll just go and sit in the solarium and chill. So the next one is going to be like the Royal Promenade. Now, it's obvious, the Royal Promenade. However, the reason I think that is kind of a hidden gem is because there are things that go on during the week or during your cruise in the Royal Promenade that you don't even realize half the time. So they will have dance parties, they will have parades, they will have shows. When we did our Thanksgiving cruise at like midnight, they did a balloon drop, things like that. So it's like, don't discount the Royal Promenade just because it's kind of the central hub. The next one is secret decks. So if you're staying in a suite, a lot of times suite guests will actually have their own like little sun deck kind of a thing. However, if you go into the solarium, check out the sides of the ship. A lot of times you will actually see there's like little wings and little areas that you can go and you don't really even realize they're there. Like when we were on Odyssey, there was an offshoot from the solarium. You had to go to the bottom level of the solarium and out a side door. And it was an observation deck. And it was almost always empty because people didn't realize they could go out there. So those are some fun little areas. I like to call them like the hidey holes of the ship, just because those are things that you don't always really realize are there. The next thing is mini golf. Yes, you heard me right. Mini golf. Harmony of the Oasis class ships, Harmony of the Seas, has a mini golf course and it is free and you can go on it. And I can't tell you how many times we walk past it and it's completely empty because people don't realize you can do it. They think it's like a display or for specific times and stuff like that. And no, as long as the activities are like the flow rider, the rock wall, things like that are open, mini golf is usually open. The caveat with that though is if it is rough seas, they will close it, but you can go and it doesn't cost anything. You can get your club, you can get a ball, and you can play mini golf. Something fun to do. Now, something that is new is that some ships have an escape room now. Now, escape rooms do cost extra. However, Odyssey had it, Icon had it, and it was just one of those really cool things. I remember talking with one of the crew members on Icon, and they said they've never had more than 10 people, like, so their escape room, I think they said could handle like 15 or 20. Yes, because there were 2 escape rooms on Icon. And they never really had more than like 10 signed up at a time. So it's not as well known. A lot of people, from what I understand, thought it was for just kids when it was actually for everybody. And so that's always something fun. Another hidden gem that I absolutely love is all of the artwork on board. So if you spend any time, you're going up and down any of the steps, stairwells, look at the artwork. But also check out the artwork in like your hallway where your cabin is and throughout the ship. So we have found so many just really cool works of art just by taking the stairs or checking out the elevators as you go down. One of the really cool things we found on Odyssey was, so the internal elevators had glass and you could watch going up and down, but the outside elevators, each one had different artwork inside of it. So it was really, really cool. Next one is the Adventure Ocean program. So I like to list this as kind of like a hidden gem because a lot of people just kind of miss over it. They don't always utilize it to the full extent, but it's a great option for kids, tweens, and teens, and it gives them some break time and some space. It gives you as parents some space and all of that kind of stuff. The next thing is the ice rink. I'm not talking about the aqua theater. Aqua theater is obvious, but the ice rink. A lot of people that I have talked to who have gone on the Royal Caribbean ships that have the ice rinks, they don't realize that you can actually go ice skating. It is a free activity. You do have to have pants and socks though, and which I know a lot of times when people are going on Caribbean cruises, they don't always think to bring, but they will have set times throughout the week where you can go ice skating. And it's pretty fun. It's a really cool activity to do, and it's something that I think is a lot of time overlooked. The next one that I like to list is the signature dining. So obviously people who cruise a lot know all about it, but there are certain ones that I think do get overlooked. So Playmakers is one. Playmakers is a sports bar. However, they have a full menu, and that menu is fantastic. Greg loves their burger. I love their Impossible Burger. We always love to go for a cocktail and a burger. We've had their wings before, which are great. Their nachos are fantastic. The desserts are really good. And you don't really think to just go for lunch. A lot of times whenever we think of Playmakers, we think of, oh, going and watching whatever game is on or whatever. Go for lunch, go eat. But hand in hand with that is, if you want to try a signature dining thing, try it at lunch, because a lot of times the lunch will be half the cost, but it'll be pretty much 90% of the menu. The caveat or the exception with that is going to be Chops Grill. Chops Grill lunch is going to be a significantly limited menu over the dinner menu. However, we've done Jamie's Italian for both lunch and dinner. Same menu, whole across the board, and half the cost for lunch. So don't overlook those just because they're there. The other thing too is make sure you check out some of the snacks in some of the different bars. So like Crown and Compass Lounge, for example, they have these lobster mac and cheese bites. So good, so amazing. We got them on Odyssey, and we basically have decided every single time we go on a cruise now, we've got to get those at some point. So make sure you check it out. Other thing to make sure you're checking out in hidden gem wise is the signature shows. I've heard a lot of people are like, well, it's not a major production, it's just a ship show. How good can it be? The Aqua Show and Ice Show, for example, the divers in the Aqua Show have been Olympic divers. The skaters in the Ice Show, they have done Olympic qualifying trials or shows, or I'm not sure the best terminology for ice skating. But don't skip those. Don't miss them just because it may not be a headliner or a #1 thing or things like that. There's so many times that we will go and the theater or the arena is half empty. So don't forget to skip out. Don't forget to try the signature shows. Don't skip the signature shows. The next one to make sure you don't miss is exploring the different neighborhoods on the Oasis and on the Icon class ships. You're going to get to see and do different things in each neighborhood. You've got your boardwalk, you've got your Central Park, you've got the promenade, you've got all those different areas. And you know, I've heard people who will skip deck 8 on the Oasis class because that's where Central Park is, because they don't think that it's a big thing to make sure you see. But think about this. Central Park is like the largest botanical garden at sea. Everything in Central Park is living. It is taken care of. They have people who take care of all of these plants on board, and it is almost always empty. And my all-time favorite little hub for food on Harmony is actually there, and it's the Central Park Cafe, and they do the best lunches and breakfasts, but people rarely go there because it's a hidden gem. The next thing is the Ultimate Abyss. So think when you were a kid and you were at recess and you had the spiral slide, but think about it like 10 stories tall. Now, when I first went on it, I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to have like that stomach in my throat feeling? And so a lot of times it's mostly kids. It's not a ton of adults, but it really doesn't feel like you're going 10 stories. They truly designed it so that it feels like you're a kid back at recess again. My stomach is not in my throat, and it is honestly probably one of our favorite things to do on the Oasis class ships is the Ultimate Abyss slide. And then the last hidden gem that I'm going to talk about today is, there's a couple, it's kind of like multifold, is the activities. So things like name that tune, trivia, anything that's at like the schooner bar. So every ship will have the schooner bar, and they do live music and they do requests and stuff like that. But don't miss those things, because you think trivia is just going to be boring trivia, but they've done Star Wars, Harry Potter, Disney trivia, movie trivia, name that tune with like movie soundtracks, or the one that we did really bad at on Odyssey was British hits. Now they picked a lot of obscure British hits, but still hits. 80s music, 90s, early aughts music. So check out the Cruise Compass, and don't forget to try some of those fun activities or the game shows. The game shows are hugely popular, but they're all to watch, but they're a lot of fun. When we were on Icon of the Seas, I participated in one, Who Wants to Be a Caribbeanaire, and I got a whole swag bag of Royal Caribbean stuff, and it was pretty awesome. So don't be afraid to do any of the activities, to give them a shot, go participate. Do trivia, do the name that tune. Even if you don't think you would know it, just go and have fun, because it's not going to cost you anything, and it's just going to be it's going to be a good time. They really truly do try to make it fun on board, and it doesn't have to cost a lot if you don't want to spend money. Or if you don't, like, bingo isn't your thing, that's okay. Go and watch bingo, because the people playing bingo sometimes are hilarious. So don't forget to give the Cruise Compass activities a try. They really do a lot of work and a lot of effort to make sure that you have a lot of fun. So those are my hidden gems and my like fun little tidbits for making the most out of your cruise. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye guys.